But yeah, as I was saying, M is real high. I love Israel. They should be able to spend 40, 50. They should spend 100. They should be able to spend $100 million on the Democratic primary race in Michigan. I think that's the only democracy is when Israel gets to directly hand select Senate candidates. That's what I think. I hope people understand where I stand on this, you know? Why are you pocket watching? True. Why am I pocket watching the beautiful nation state of Israel? Chill, Hasan. What the hell is wrong with me, bro? That's crazy. Abdul held his own on
what you're going to do with
Israel
my tax dollars and why you're sending them there when
on Pod Save America.
With all due respect, I mean, the question of whether Israel should exist or not is essential when you're answering whether U.S. tax dollars should go towards protecting that right to exist. And it sort of raised, let me just ask you the question, because, I mean, I think you've made it a zero-sum game between like funding for example, schools and aid to Israel. The U.S. budget is large, and there's a question about, you know, to what degree Congress should prioritize spending on Israel, which gets at the central question for, I think, a lot of Jews in this country and a lot of Jews in your state is, you know, the Jewish identity and the Jewish statehood is essential to them. And they may think the war is a genocide in Gaza, and they may completely disagree with Bibi Netanyahu, but their Jewish identity is as essential to them as their American identity. So I wonder, when you are thinking about those people, and they may support you, how do you help them understand where Israel exists on your list of priorities? Is it immoral to support Israel at this point, or is there some other is there some other avenue?
Look, I was really grateful to grow up in a community with a large Jewish community, 40% Jewish. I had the privilege of being welcomed to shul and being welcomed to Seder and going to bar and bat mitzvahs growing up. I learned a lot about the Jewish faith. I learned so much about the Jewish contribution to American culture and society. And I will do everything I can to protect Jewish Americans in this country from anti-Semitism. I also, in as much as I love the Jewish people and Jewish culture, I love and revere Palestinians and Palestinian culture. And most importantly, I love and revere the people I am running to serve here in Michigan. So the idea that Michigan tax dollars should be sent to a foreign government that wants to foreclose on Palestinian rights to peace, dignity, and self-determination, which I hold equal to Jewish rights to peace, dignity, and self-determination. But the idea that our money is being sent to a government that wants to foreclose on one community's right to self-determination and being misused away from solving the needs of the people I'm actually serving is a pretty crazy thing. And in setting up this question about Israel's right to exist, you rightly point to the idea of whether or not there is American intervention that ought to be spent to enforce that. And I think the vast majority of Americans would say, whatever you think about Israel's right to exist, our tax dollars should not be used for the interests of a foreign government when they need to be used for the interests of the people living in our community on its own. So I believe in equal rights to peace, dignity, and self-determination for Palestinians and Jewish Israelis alike. But I also understand that in an era where people ask you, how are you going to pay for that when you want to give people healthcare, or how are you going to pay for that when you want to give people good schools, it's pretty crazy to be sending our money over there when it could be used over here.
So no funding to ensure the survival or future of the Jewish state.
Well, I turn that back around on you, Alex, and say, why is it our responsibility to ensure that?
I'm just asking because I think people want a clear understanding. I think that,
but hear me out. Why is that the essential frame from which we work? Like, why is it assumed that the United States ought to be in the business of backstopping a foreign government? Like, I'm just saying, like, I don't want ill will for Jewish Israeli people at all. I really don't. I just want equal rights to peace, dignity, and self-determination for all people. But the notion that somehow our tax dollars ought to secure the interests of a foreign government, like, this is the United States and our own kids don't have good schools, and you're telling me that that should be a primary concern over there? Like, imagine we said the same thing about any other country, any other one. Like, my family's from...
Yeah, does Estonia have a right to exist? Why don't you care about propping up Estonia? Now, there's also additional irony here because Estonia, at least to my knowledge, has not committed a genocide with our tax dollars. You know what I mean? Like, the question should be, does Israel have a right to unlimited U.S. funding? And then to expand on that conversation, you can ask, does Iran have a right to unlimited U.S. funding? Does China have a right to unlimited U.S. funding? Why is it only Israel that gets to have this like God-given right, like it's in the fucking Constitution or something? You hate Estonia because you don't want to give them $300 billion. Yeah. Can you imagine? Can you imagine the fucking argument being like, hey, I hate how much you hate the beautiful nation of Lithuania because you don't want to give it $380 billion in the next 80 years. It's like, how dare you? How dare you? You want Estonia and Lithuania to no longer fucking exist. It's like, bro, that's crazy. Bro, read the comments on this video. Let me guess. As predicted, as is the case with every Pod Save America episode, the comments are going to be like, oh my God, Abdul is so fucking base. He's so intelligent, speaks like a human. His answer on Israel was perfection. I'm so jealous Michigan voters who get to vote for him. Abdul made the most impressive Senate candidate I've ever seen. It's always that way. It's kind of funny because like the Podjons are fine. They're all right. You know, they're not my enemies, right? But their audience always comes across like they've never heard this before. You know what I mean? Their audience, whenever I'm on, I love looking at the comments. Their audience is like, why do we never hear stuff like this? And it's so funny because it's like, there's a whole world out there. And it always makes me think like, what the hell are the Podjons saying to their audience? That whenever I go on, they're like, I've literally never heard someone speak like this before. This just like unlocked chakras in my mind. You know what I mean? You opened up my fucking third eye with pretty much the most like elementary anti-Zionist talking points. Super basic. To be honest, that's why I became a fan of you like 2021. Yeah, that's why I always like that's why I always give credit to the boys, to the pod boys, to the Podjons, because they don't shy away from having these conversations and their audience is obviously primed for it. So that means they haven't been like negatively framing the left and constantly antagonizing against the left flank, which is something I do give a lot of credit to them over. Your appearance after the 2024 election on Podjons one time brought me over and never looked back. See, that's what I mean. Private meet and greet for just for me in DC when? It's not happening, cutie pie.
From Egypt, okay? Like, would it be crazy if somebody was asking me like, hey, do you think Egypt has the right to exist? People would be like, Egypt exists. I'm like, well, if somebody wanted to change the nature of Egypt, do you think the United States should be spending all of its money to make sure, or any of its money to make sure that that happens? And people are like, I don't know, what that seems like a different country's issue. But like, I'm just saying that like you can both say that Israel exists, but it doesn't have a right to my tax dollars. And it is not our responsibility as American taxpayers to take money away from kids who don't have good schools and give it to a country.
I'm audio only. Am I hearing farting? Wait, what? Where? Is there like an audio issue, chatters? What the fuck's going on?
To buy bombs and tanks. Like the idea that our conversation even questions that is itself a big question we should be asking. Like, why is this the frame of the debate?
Yeah, Chuck Schumer is here. He's sleeping in the bed. And he's a little bit loosey-goosey, you know? We know how his ass is. Oh, is it the coffee? Is it when I sip the coffee and you guys hear me drinking the coffee and you're like, oh, that sounds like a fart? Is that what it is? Anyway, speaking of Abdul, our boy, he got harassed by Jake Lang today. Let's take a look.
Why are you persecuting me?
We're gonna clap him out. The reason I wanted to clap him out to USA is because he doesn't hate me. He doesn't hate AG. He don't even hate you. You know what he hates? He hates America. He hates the idea of what America was always supposed to be.
Oh, God damn. That's what I'm talking about, Abdul. Oh, my God.
Of the people, by the people, and for the people. Where it should not matter the color of your skin, should not matter how you pray, should not matter who you love, that you can be fully and 100% America. He hates that America. He wants America to be small. He wants America to be like him. He wants America to be hateful. He wants America to be a place that does not include. And every day that we go out there and we knock on those doors, we make an argument about what America actually is. An America that is bigger than his hate. An America that is bigger than the small-mindedness that he brings to this. An America that has a bigger heart.
Dude. That's the reverse farm, baby. That's the clip. This is how you do it. This is how you do it. Uno reverse. Someone comes after you trying to farm a clip. You just flip the script on them. You flip the script on him and you get the clip instead. He had to leave crying. Nobody was afraid of him. The room was cheering him away. Ooh, God damn, that's good. Yep, that's called clip maxing. That's called clip mogging.
Than the one that he has. An America that is bigger than a Donald Trump who thinks that some people don't get to belong here because of their color of their skin. An America that is bigger than the idea that we all can come together and pray how we choose or not pray at all. An America that is bigger than Mike Rogers and the corporate corruption that they all take to run these campaigns to pick our pocket. The America they believe in is one where a few people who look a particular way get to siphon off your money to make billions. That's the America they want. That's the America he represents. That's the America he's so mad he didn't get. And as much as that's an ugly display of the America they want for us, this here is a beautiful display of the America we can yet build.
You should stream with Abdul again. I will. That was fire.